What if your true strength started the moment you stopped reacting? Most people are carried away by moods, opinions, and outside pressure. But those who rise above it master stillness. When you behave as though nothing can disturb you, you reclaim authority. Not because you are numb, but because you have trained your mind to choose response over reaction. In a few moments, I will show you how to remain calm, stay sharp, and act unshaken, no matter what life delivers. Your response shapes your reality. There comes a point in every life when the world throws something heavy at you, an insult, a betrayal, or an unforeseen failure, and in that instant, everything stops. Not for the world, but for you. That pause is your hidden power. It is never the storm that determines your future. It is the stillness with which you meet it. You've been told to be strong, to be brave, to fight. But what if the highest form of strength was not reacting at all? Not in anger, not in fear, but in calm certainty. The one who can remain unmoved in the storm is the one the storm begins to respect. People often think they must react to hold control. The truth is, reaction surrenders control. You must master the sacred discipline of silence, not from weakness, but from wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. If your emotions can be pulled like a string, your power belongs to others. You become their puppet. But when you maintain composure, when your pulse is steady in both loss and victory, you rise above. You stop playing their game and they begin following your rhythm. Now, before we go deeper, a moment for the brotherhood. Welcome to Stoicism Mastermind. To our legendary subscribers, you are the reason this community thrives. Thank you for walking this path with us. May you and your loved ones stay safe, strong, and surrounded by peace wherever life takes you. If you're new here, kindly smash that subscribe button, and share this message. Because around here, we're not just a channel, we're a brotherhood. One family, one mindset, one mission. We dive deep into the wisdom of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, the kind of timeless strength schools never taught us. Why? To help all men sharpen their minds, master themselves, and become unshakable. And if you haven't seen our video, Do Less, Win More, watch it right after this. It will amplify what you're about to learn. Begin with awareness. Instead of reacting, observe. Let others shout. Let the world judge. Let setbacks arrive. Sit with them. Feel the discomfort. Then choose. Not through anger, but through principle. Response is not suppression. It is deliberate choice. The more you resist the pull of impulsive reaction, the stronger your spirit forges its armor. This is how resilience is formed, not in grand victories, but in quiet decisions. Imagine this. Someone ridicules your work. Rather than defend yourself, you smile, give no explanation, and continue building. They expect a battle, but you grant them silence. That silence, that unshaken stillness, is not emptiness. It is authority. Your calm unsettles them, and your discipline secures your triumph. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you reacted and regretted it? How many times have you wished you paused just 5 seconds longer? What if those 5 seconds could change everything? Your greatness begins the moment you stop giving away control of your emotions. Be as the mountain, not because nothing stirs around it, but because nothing shakes its core. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Do not be a servant to emotion. A life ruled by feelings is like a ship with a broken rudder. It moves, yes, but only where the waves direct. It smiles when praised and collapses when criticized. Yet within you exists the power to steer. You are not created to drift. You are created to direct. It is human to feel. but it is dangerous to be ruled by feeling. Think of the fire within. It is magnificent when harnessed, but destructive when uncontrolled. Your anger, your sadness, your excitement, these are signals, not sovereigns. When you allow every emotion to dictate your movement, you walk without intention, guided only by turbulence. What is the alternative? Mastery, discipline, emotional authority. You begin by identifying the emotion, not merging with it. This is frustration. This is fear. You name it, and by naming it, you claim control. Then you decide, does this emotion advance the mission? There will be moments when insult stings or unfairness stirs rebellion in your chest. You will want to retaliate, but remember, whoever dictates the tempo commands the space. Speak only when your words construct. Act only when your actions strengthen your vision. If you haven't yet, watch our video, Stop Talking. It will show you how silence sharpens your influence and deepens your presence. Imagine this. You step into a room. Someone raises their voice. Eyes shift toward you. Do you mirror their chaos, or do you lower your tone? The latter holds the true power, for calm is command. The one who maintains tone, pace, and grace. That individual owns the environment. Ask yourself, am I reacting or am I responding? Have I allowed temporary emotions to sabotage permanent aspirations? What if you could retrain your mind to see offense not as an injury, but as insight, a glimpse into another's insecurity and an invitation to rise instead of fall? You are not designed to be ruled by emotion. You are designed to rule over it, not by denial, but by direction. And in doing so, you evolve. This is the armor of purpose. When you are grounded in purpose, the storms of opinion cannot move you. You may be misunderstood, even ridiculed, yet you remain steady. Why? Because you know your destination. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." A person without direction is prey to every distraction. A person anchored in purpose is unshakable. Too often people chase approval. They dress for it, speak for it, even sacrifice dreams for it, but approval is elusive. It will drain you. Instead, align your compass with something greater. Not applause, not attention, but legacy. Those who live for purpose do not tremble at noise. Here lies the key. When you begin each day, ask yourself, what am I here to build today? That single question transforms every insult into silence. You become a builder, and builders do not abandon construction because someone mocked the foundation. They keep laying stone upon stone. You must master the world's noise by mastering your craft. The stronger your creation, the fewer explanations you must give. Let your life be so anchored in purpose that no outside chaos can uproot you. Imagine this. You are writing a book, shaping a vision, perfecting your skill. Someone hurls words, doubt, envy, mockery. Do you drop your pen to argue, or do you continue writing, steady, disciplined, unstoppable? The second path is greatness. Pause for a moment. Look at your day. Is it aligned with your mission, or are you bending your path to satisfy others? The deeper your mission runs, the quieter your mind becomes. And you must ask yourself, am I guided by purpose or by pressure? One will elevate you. The other will break you. Calm is the highest currency. There is a form of wealth that surpasses gold, outlives kingdoms, and cannot be stored in any vault. It is the wealth of inner calm. Seneca once wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. The one who moves through storms without losing composure carries a strength greater than armies." This type of presence cannot be bought. It must be lived, trained, cultivated, and earned. What makes calm so powerful? It is the one thing that cannot be faked. A loud tone can be imitated. A smile can be staged. But calm, authentic calm, cannot be counterfeited. It is forged in the furnace of hardship. It is won by walking through trials without letting them break your center. It is not a mask. It is a result. The soul that has fought within and come out grounded holds a quiet dominance no noise can rattle. Think of calm as a precious currency. Spend it with wisdom. When insult comes, when chaos strikes, when plans collapse. Do not waste your calm cheaply. Guard it like treasure. Refuse to exchange it for the fleeting satisfaction of reaction. Protect it. Preserve it. Allow it to grow. Calm, when guarded well, becomes the root of influence, vision, and endurance. Habits create calm. Rise before the world awakens. Breathe deeply, with intention. Walk beneath the open heavens. Read words that stretch your mind. Reflect before the demands of the day take hold. Speak only when words are necessary. Listen not merely to reply, but to truly understand. Surround yourself with people who elevate your mind, not those who drain your soul. A life of structure invites a spirit of stability, and a stable spirit does not sway with every storm. Picture two individuals caught in a raging storm. One curses the skies, fists raised, heart racing. The other quietly builds a shelter, using the very winds to strengthen their foundation. Who emerges wiser? Who leads when the storm passes? The one who responded with calm, not chaos. For calm is not only a shield, it is sharpness, it is strength harnessed. Ask yourself this: do I protect my calm, or do I sacrifice it at the altar of petty arguments, imagined fears, and fleeting frustrations? Each time you react without intention, you spend a portion of your peace, and each time you preserve it, you increase your power. Never forget, peace is not passive. It is active strength. It speaks louder than noise. It leads without force. It is your deepest sign of mastery. Not mastery over others, but mastery over yourself. Guard it. Follow it. That is real power. And if you haven't yet, watch our video, Master Your Mouth, Mood, Money, and Mind. It will show you how every word, every emotion, every decision can either build your empire or burn your peace. The world reflects your energy. Enter a room with slouched shoulders, a hesitant voice, a spirit doubting its own worth, and the world will treat you the same. Eyes will overlook you. Opportunities will shrink. Respect will feel distant. Not because life is unfair, but because it reflects back what you project. Step into that same room with your spine tall, your breath steady, your presence grounded, and watch how the atmosphere shifts. This is the law of reflection. Life does not mirror what you think you deserve. It mirrors what you radiate. If your inner world is clouded with doubt, disorder, or criticism, the outside world will eventually echo it. But when your inner state is anchored in clarity, composure, and confidence, the outer world begins to align. This is not superstition. It is Stoic truth. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." You are the painter. The hue of your inner world colors everything around you. People are not drawn to your intentions. They are moved by your energy. Command without shouting, and the room will listen. Influence begins not with the crowd, but with the dialogue inside your own mind. That inner voice must not hesitate. It must not sabotage you. It must lead with clarity and authority. You do not rise by luck. You rise by design, and design begins within. How do you shape that energy? Start with a choice. Decide the tone of your life. Steady strength, sharp focus, calm authority. Then live it out. Dress with intention. Walk with deliberation. Speak with purpose. Protect your focus. Move as if each moment carries weight, because it does. Let your daily behavior reveal your commitment. Imagine entering a boardroom, a stage, or even your own home. If you carry doubt or hesitation, people will sense it before you speak. But if you enter with self-command and quiet certainty, the entire dynamic bends toward you. Confidence is never noisy. It is steady. Ask yourself, what signal am I sending? Do I project fear or assurance, uncertainty or clarity? The world does not only hear what you say, it feels your presence. Your presence is a frequency, a broadcast that trains others how to respond to you, value you, and treat you. Never forget, you are always teaching others how to treat you, not by demanding respect, but by embodying it. Your presence is your message. Let it be strong. Let it be deliberate. Let it reflect not your past, but your chosen identity. Real power begins where ego dies. Seneca warned, "He who does not prevent a crime when he can, encourages it." Apply that inwardly. When you allow ego to run free, you commit the crime of sabotaging your own potential. Kill the ego through composure. Replace noise with principle. Replace pride with purpose. Replace reaction with reason. The Stoic does not speak to impress. He acts to express virtue. He walks as if every step were an example. He radiates calm authority. Not because he tries, but because he is. That is the power of presence. Ego is the restless voice demanding recognition. It whispers, "They don't respect me. They don't see my worth." It stirs conflict within, turning every word into a battle, every slight into a war. But true power does not clamor or shout. It whispers, "Let them talk." I am too focused to notice Epictetus said, "If someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against his words, but reply, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these.'" The greatest danger to growth is not failure. It is offense. Offense steals your focus. It lures you away from your mission into arguments, defenses, and petty battles. But each moment spent proving your worth is a moment lost in creating your destiny. A person who wears pride on the surface becomes chained to their emotions. They are not free. They are enslaved, constantly reacting, never creating. You must guard your pride carefully, not because pride is evil, but because it is costly. It robs you of progress. Imagine halting a masterpiece halfway through just to argue with a stranger questioning your talent. Absurd, isn't it? Yet that is exactly what happens every time you abandon your work to defend your ego. Pride demands recognition. Purpose demands service. Remember Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You are not your position. You are not the applause. You are not your critics. You are not even your past victories. You are the effort. You are the vision. You are the process. You are the hours invested, the labor repeated, the discipline sustained. You are the one who shows up day after day, building something that endures beyond words. What does this shift unlock? Freedom. When others underestimate you, you don't drain your energy trying to convince them. You let your results speak on your behalf. You don't prove your worth through reactions. You prove it through outcomes. Offense is a detour. Creation is the main road. Stay the course. Picture yourself in a meeting. You share an idea. Someone dismisses or mocks it. The old self may feel bruised. The ego may flare. But the grounded self smiles, not from agreement, but from strategy. You keep working. You return later with results that change the conversation. Not by argument, but by undeniable proof. Ask yourself, am I more devoted to appearing right or to becoming truly effective? Do I waste strength defending my ego, or do I invest it in building something undeniable? Because here is the truth. Arguments fade from memory. achievements remain. The unstoppable man is not the one craving validation. He is the one validating his vision with consistent action. He moves with quiet focus. He builds without fanfare. And when the work is complete, he lets the results thunder. Your power is not in loudly defending your ego. It is in quietly laying it down to pick up your tools and build. Build with intention. Build with persistence. Build until your creation becomes your voice. This is how you rise above offense. This is how you silence the noise. This is how you lead, without raising your tone. Release the ego. Embrace the mission. Silence is strategy. Words hold power, yes, but silence is atomic. It is the force least understood, least practiced, and most feared. People scramble to fill silence with chatter. They dread being underestimated, ignored, or forgotten. So they rush to speak, to defend, to explain. But those who master silence, they do not flee from it, they wield it. To walk deliberately in silence is to carry an authority that cannot be challenged. It does not shout, it does not beg, it simply exists, and its presence is undeniable. When chosen with intention, silence resounds louder than any defense. It does not reflect weakness, it reflects command. Seneca said, "To be angry is to avenge the faults of others on ourselves." The Stoic understands. Not everything requires an answer. Sometimes silence is the answer. You must learn the distinction between necessary speech and impulsive reaction. Talking just to fill the air is the language of the unsettled. But those who are rooted, those who are steady, measure their words carefully, and their silence carries intention. Silence is not withdrawal, it is not passivity, it is not fear, it is control. And control is a discipline. It declares, "I will not be moved by provocation." It says, "I am not here to perform for your approval." It shows that you are not hurried, not shaken, not easily swayed. You are uninterested in proving yourself through noise. You prove yourself through results. Practice the pause, especially under pressure, especially when the stakes are high. Resist the urge to defend quickly. Resist the need to fill every silence. Allow your stillness to create weight. Allow your calm to disturb the chaos. The pause, when deliberate, creates presence. And presence commands far more than volume ever could. Imagine this: a tense meeting. Voices clash, opinions collide, tempers rise. Everyone battles to be heard. But you stay composed. You observe. You do not interrupt. You do not rush to reply. You analyze. You wait, and when the room finally quiets, you speak. With clarity, with precision, with command. In that instant, your words slice through the noise like a blade through smoke, not because you said more, but because you waited until it mattered. Ask yourself, do I speak out of impulse or out of wisdom? When I remain silent, am I avoiding or am I anchoring? The difference lies not in the silence itself, but in the purpose behind it. Silence can be fear, but it can also be force. When it flows from clarity, it becomes your sharpest weapon. Silence is not a void. It is a vessel. It is the chamber where thoughts refine, emotions balance, and wisdom emerges. It is the distance between urge and action, and those who master that space master themselves. In a world addicted to noise, be the one who wields silence like a blade. Speak when it counts, pause when it doesn't, and never forget. Your silence teaches others how to listen. Your quiet presence becomes a signal, not of emptiness, but of strength. When used with purpose, silence draws eyes, calms storms, and shifts outcomes long before words are spoken. Strength is forged in stillness, in the calm of dawn before the world stirs, or the hush that follows a relentless day. It is in those moments you meet yourself, Not the version chasing approval or applause, but the version rooted in discipline and truth. It is within these still spaces that strength is built, not in frenzy, but in focus, not in applause, but in awareness. Power expands in the pause. It grows in the moments when you choose to be present instead of distracted, reflective instead of reactive. Most people dread these moments. They rush from silence to stimulation, terrified of what might surface if the noise ever fades. Yet those who learn to master silence become unshakable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." The world may seem to reward noise, clamoring for attention, begging for recognition. But your vision, your clarity, your purpose require stillness. Without stillness, your thoughts never complete their formation. Your fears never rise to be faced, and your direction remains clouded. It is only in solitude that your mind sharpens, your values rise, and your mission takes shape. Train yourself to be alone without slipping into loneliness. This is not isolation. It is incubation. Use that solitude to ask yourself the deeper questions. Write down your thoughts before the world tells you what to think. Walk slowly, breathe fully, and listen, not to the crowd, but to your own wisdom. These moments are not empty. They are full of truth. They are the bedrock on which everything else is built. Do not resist solitude. Embrace it. Because within those moments, you are quietly constructing an inner fortress, brick by brick, that no chaos can breach. Distractions may try to pull you away. Voices may call for your attention. Yet your center remains immovable. That is not weakness. It is strength in disguise. Picture this. You rise before dawn. While the world still dreams, you move, not hurriedly, but with intent. You prepare your tea, stretch your body, open your journal. No interruptions, no buzzing notifications. Only breath, only space, only vision. In that hour, you are stronger than those who sprint aimlessly through their day. Because you are not reactive, you are prepared. That morning, silence becomes your armor, and that discipline, your sharpest edge. Ask yourself with honesty, have I carved out silence to build strength, or have I filled every gap with noise to avoid facing myself? You cannot lead others until you can lead yourself, and you cannot lead yourself until you have confronted your truth, in silence, in honesty, in solitude. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Men seek retreats for themselves, in the country, by the sea, in the hills. But nowhere can a man find a retreat more peaceful or more free from trouble than within his own soul." The strongest individuals do not move louder. They move quieter. Their calm is not passivity. It is preparation, the stillness before the strike, the breath before the leap. They act not from panic, but from clarity. This is not hesitation. It is precision. If you truly desire power, stop chasing the noise. Sit in the quiet. Listen to your own thoughts. Trust your rhythm. Let solitude refine you. Let stillness forge you. That is where your true strength resides. That is where your unshakable power is born. Offense is not a threat. It is a test. It is never proof that you are under attack. It is an invitation to measure your emotional maturity. When someone offends you, they do not strip away your worth. They reveal their own insecurity, fear, or ignorance. Your reaction is never just about them. It is a mirror, reflecting who you are becoming. How you respond to offense reveals the state of your inner world. Do you hold your identity so lightly that a single remark can shatter it? Or have you rooted yourself so deeply in truth that no insult can uproot you? Epictetus said, "If someone does wrong, the harm is to himself." He has made himself worse by his own actions. The Stoic understands. The offender wounds himself long before he ever reaches you. Every offense offers a crossroads. You can react, and in doing so, hand away your power. Or you can reflect, and through reflection, deepen your wisdom. Reaction is quick, almost automatic. Reflection, however, demands discipline. It requires pausing, stepping back, and recognizing the weakness behind the words. Most people who offend are not strong. They are hurting. Do not adopt their wound. Rise above it. The one who offends often seeks a reaction. They crave power by dragging you into their chaos. Do not give them what they seek. Offer silence. Offer stillness. And in that space, claim mastery. By refusing to react, you reclaim authority over yourself. That is real strength. One of the surest ways to overcome offense is to anticipate it, not with bitterness, but with readiness. Understand that offense will come, from friends, from family, from strangers, from colleagues. Misunderstandings will occur. Words will sting, but when they arrive, you are not shaken. You are prepared. Train your heart so deeply that no insult can puncture your peace. Once you expect offense, it no longer feels personal. You begin to hear it for what it is. Noise, not truth. Picture this. A neighbor mocks your ambition. They dismiss your dreams as unrealistic. They laugh at your plans. The old version of you might have argued or retaliated, but the grounded version of you smiles, tends your garden, and returns to your work. Time passes. Seasons change, and while their words fade, your results remain. Your vision proves itself. Your success becomes your reply. You prevailed, not by arguing, but by growing. This is how you rise higher. This is how you lead without shouting. You allow your vision to speak louder than their noise. Ask yourself, am I offended because they are wrong, or because some part of me fears they may be right? Offense often touches wounds that remain unhealed. Let those moments become teachers. Not every offense must be resisted. Some must be examined. In the process, you either find healing or emerge stronger. Also ask, am I protecting my pride, or am I protecting my peace? Pride yells, defend yourself. Peace whispers, you have nothing to prove. Which voice will guide you? The more often you choose peace, the weaker offense becomes. Offense is noise, fleeting, disruptive, but your vision, that is your music, your message, your calling. Let it be louder than any insult. Do not lower yourself to match the volume of the noise. Rise instead in silence and align with your purpose. Your response to offense is your true power. Not because you out-argue, but because you leave with your energy untouched. You safeguard your time, your focus, your inner clarity. That is the essence of real victory. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when someone does you wrong, immediately consider what view of good or evil led him to it. When you see this, you will pity him and neither wonder nor be angry. The garden flourishes not where weeds are fought, but where they are ignored and replaced with deliberate cultivation. Offense will always come, but taking offense is always a choice. Choose growth. Choose silence. Choose peace. And let your life itself become the loudest response. Every reaction withdraws from your energy account. Every reaction spends a piece of your strength. And just like money, when you spend carelessly, you end up depleted. Not financially, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Many people move through life bankrupt in peace because they waste their energy on things that never truly mattered. Every insult, every rumor, every careless glance does not deserve the cost of your reaction. Yet most people fall into the trap of responding to everything. They chase gossip, argue over opinions, and try to answer every critic. In doing so, they exhaust their spirit. They fall asleep not from hard work, but from emotional overexertion. but those who learn to conserve, to guard their energy, to protect their calm, grow rich in clarity, focus, and momentum. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." He understood that the greatest waste of energy is trying to prove your worth to those too blind to see it. When you shift your energy from reaction to creation, you stop chasing distractions and start building your destiny. You must budget your attention like currency. Before you respond, ask yourself, is this worth the investment? Does this comment strengthen me or drain me? Will this argument move me closer to my vision or pull me off track? Every reaction has a price. Wisdom is calculating the cost before you pay it. See your energy as fire. Fire can warm a home, forge steel, or cook a meal. But if you waste it on matches tossed by others, it burns nothing but your patience. So when someone throws sparks, an insult, a slight, a provocation, you decide. Will I waste my fire here, or will I preserve it to fuel my mission? Imagine you are on the verge of something major, a breakthrough, a promotion, a creation that demands your full focus. Suddenly, a critic appears. Their words sting, their doubts echo. But instead of reacting, you inhale. You stay silent. You return to your work. That silence becomes your strength. That unbroken focus becomes your breakthrough. Because while they were playing small, you were building big. Ask yourself, where am I spending energy that brings no return? Who receives more of my emotional space than they deserve? What repeated patterns drain me over and over? Identify them, not to blame, but to budget. Your reaction should serve your purpose. Not your pride, not your wounds, not your desire to be right. Anything else is emotional leakage. Understand this. Restraint is not weakness. It is capacity management. It means choosing what deserves your focus, who earns your energy, and where your presence belongs. You cannot move your life forward if you are busy defending it backward. There is immense power in restraint. Not every battle deserves your sword. Not every insult deserves your breath. Some things must be met with silence, not your spirit. With stillness, not your storm. Emotional wealth is built like financial wealth, through discipline, through consistency, through wise investment. Every time you resist reacting, you protect a portion of your peace. Each time you hold your ground, instead of spilling your energy, you strengthen your future. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength master this. The discipline of conserving your energy. And you will begin to operate from abundance, not exhaustion, from deliberate strategy, not mere survival. The individual who learns to guide their reactions is no longer a puppet of emotion, but a commander of direction. They are propelled, not pulled, steady, not scattered, centered, not shaken. Your energy is your most precious currency. Use it with intention because it matters. And when you do, you uncover a reservoir of peace, strength, and purpose that no critic, insult, or distraction can ever reach. That is the essence of becoming limitless. You are the cause, not the consequence. Most people drift through life like leaves in the wind. Tossed here, bent there, carried by circumstances, never rooted in intention. They are swayed by opinions, molded by moods, and constantly moved by the force of others. But you were never designed to drift aimlessly. You are not a leaf. You are the tree. You are not the result. You are the cause. Every time you react without clarity, you hand away the authorship of your own story. You turn into a character in someone else's play instead of the writer of your own script. But here lies the truth. Your thoughts are the pen. Your choices are the ink. Your days are the pages. Every moment is an opportunity to write a new line. You don't wait for approval to craft your life. You take the pen and begin. This is radical, consistent ownership. Not just when the path is easy, but especially when it is not. It is simple to say, they upset me. They stressed me. But stop and reflect. Did they truly make you, or did you hand them your power? No one creates your emotional state without your permission. When you choose to own your reactions, your focus, your energy, your emotions, you cease being a reactor. You become a creator. Ownership is not about controlling what happens around you. It is about mastering what happens within you. Because the true battlefield is not external. It is internal. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He understood that if you win within, you win everywhere. Picture this. You enter a room heavy with tension. People are restless. Anxiety fills the air. Most absorb and mirror that energy. But you choose differently. You bring calm into the storm. You slow your breath. You ground your presence. You speak only when needed, not to dominate, but to clarify. The room begins to shift. Not because you forced it, but because you anchored it. That is not arrogance. It is alignment. That is ownership. You don't wait for the world to give you peace before you feel it. You bring peace with you. You don't wait for opportunities. You create them. You don't wait for the right emotion. You generate it. This is the difference between waiting for life to hand you a script and realizing you are the one writing it. Ask yourself, am I waiting for the world to quiet down before I can feel it to peace? Am I willing to create calm within, no matter the noise around me? Do I spend more time reacting to life or creating something beyond it? You are not a passenger in your own journey. You are the driver. You set the destination. You choose the pace. You decide when to pause and when to accelerate. And yes, the road may twist, the winds may roar, obstacles may appear, but the path always bends to the will of the one who grips the wheel with strength and stillness. It begins with daily choices, not dramatic proclamations, but steady habits. Waking with purpose, answering with patience, acting with clarity, speaking with honesty, choosing creation over complaint. When the world presses, you don't strike back blindly. You pause, you reset, you act with vision, not vengeance. Every day is a blank page. Don't allow old patterns, loud voices, or reactive impulses to author your story for you. Pick up the pen. Hold it with intention. Write sentences that honor your mission, not your moods. Direct your energy like an architect placing stones deliberately, with an eye on what you are building, not what you are resisting. To be the cause, not the effect. This is the essence of power. Not noisy power, not forceful dominance, but the quiet, steady strength of someone who knows they are shaping their life from the inside out. Own it. Write it. Live it. Consistency produces confidence. The ones who shout the loudest are often the least certain. They fill the air not with strength, but with insecurity. They drown silence with noise because silence requires assurance. And when assurance is absent, noise becomes a mask. But genuine confidence, true confidence, never pleads to be noticed. It enters the room steady and composed, needing no announcement. This kind of belief in yourself isn't born from applause, nor is it sustained by recognition. It is cultivated in the quiet, in the unseen. Seneca said, "Well-being is attained by little and little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself." That is the secret of confidence. It is not found in leaps, but in small, steady steps. Confidence is forged in repetition, by showing up again and again when no one is watching, when there is no audience. You don't grow confident by being celebrated. You grow confident by being consistent. Confidence begins the moment you decide to keep your word to yourself. Every time you set a standard and meet it, you lay a stone in your foundation. Each morning you rise when you promised you would. Every time you refine your craft even when motivation is absent. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you build trust. Not with the world, but with yourself. And that trust becomes your strength. The more you honor your word, the more your inner voice begins to trust you. Your mind says, yes, we are that person. We show up. We follow through. We are becoming who we declared we would be. And that kind of confidence cannot be faked. It does not need validation. It does not need to prove anything. It simply exists. So when criticism arrives, and it will, you do not tremble. You do not collapse because someone doubts or disapproves. Why? Because your identity is not rooted in their words. It lives in your work. It lives in the early mornings, in the late nights, in the repetition, in the labor. You know what you've built, and you know how deep the roots reach. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Imagine rising before dawn, long before anyone else moves. While the world sleeps, you are working, not for applause, but for progress. You are practicing, refining, building, stone by stone. You lay a foundation too strong to be shaken, so when someone mocks or questions you, their words cannot touch you, because you have already done the work, and the work itself is your shield. Confidence is not a divine gift. It is not reserved for the chosen. It is a muscle, and like every muscle, it grows through effort, repetition, and discipline. Ask yourself, have I truly shown up for myself? Not once, not only when convenient, but consistently. Have I followed through when no one noticed? Have I honored the promises I made to myself? Motivation fades. Applause is rare. Permission is an illusion. But action is always yours to take. The more you act with integrity, not to impress others, but to align with your higher self, the more unshakable you become. Real confidence is not noise. It is presence. It is entering a room needing nothing. It is standing firm when challenged, not because you are desperate to win, but because you have already won within. It is not found in the shouting. It is revealed in the showing. So keep showing up, quietly, consistently, faithfully. Let your work speak for you. Let your discipline be the proof. Let your foundation carry the weight, because when you live this way, your presence becomes undeniable. Your confidence becomes immovable, and your path, no matter how long, becomes unstoppable. Peace is a fortress. Most chase it like a prize, as if it lies somewhere far away, a reward after the chaos ends. But the Stoic knows, peace is not the reward. It is the weapon. It is not the absence of war, but the discipline that lets you stand unshaken in the middle of it. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. Peace is not earned through control of circumstances. It's built by mastering your perception of them." The untrained mind says, "When things calm down, then I'll be at peace." The trained mind says, "When I am at peace, things will calm down." That is the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Peace is not an emotion, it is a position. It is not soft, it is steel covered in silence. It cannot be borrowed, it must be built. And every choice you make is a brick in that fortress. When you refuse to argue, you add a brick. When you stay composed under pressure, you add a brick. When you choose patience over panic, you add a brick. Brick by brick, reaction by restraint, you build something unbreakable inside yourself. Picture a man standing before the storm. Rain slams against him, wind howls, lightning flashes across the sky, but he does not flinch. He does not raise his voice. He does not curse the sky. He simply stands, grounded, because peace has become his armor, his silence, his shield, his stillness, his sword. This is the kind of calm the world cannot disturb. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free from interruptions than your own soul." The fortress of peace is not external. It lives within you, and it is built through repetition, awareness, and deliberate calm. Peace gives you something power never can: control without force, the ability to command without demanding, to influence without noise, to endure without breaking. When the crowd panics, you are the still one. When the world burns, you are the flame that refuses to spread. When everything shakes, you remain grounded, because your peace is not dependent on them. And this kind of peace has presence. It walks into the room before you speak. It shapes how people respond to you. It shifts the atmosphere without a word. That is real strength. That is Stoic mastery. Your mission is not to control the storm. It is to build such inner stability that no storm can control you. Ask yourself, am I spending my life trying to fix the chaos outside, or am I fortifying the calm within? You can't stop the world from moving, but you can stop yourself from being moved by it. This is the peace that outlasts chaos, the calm that commands attention, the stillness that separates men from masters. So build your fortress, brick by brick, moment by moment, reaction by restraint. And when the storm comes, as it always does, you won't need to run. You'll simply stand, because the battle was never outside, it was always within. When the storm finally settles and silence fills the air, you'll realize something few men ever do: that peace was never a gift. It was a skill, a discipline forged in restraint, in composure, in choosing silence when noise would have been easier. Every test, every insult, every challenge, they were never punishments. They were invitations to rise above instinct, to master the space between impulse and response. That's where the Stoic lives. In that pause, in that breath, in that quiet moment where he chooses to rule himself. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. That's your power. To revoke permission from anything that tries to control you. To withdraw energy from what drains you. To master the battlefield within. Because the man who masters himself becomes untouchable. He no longer chases validation. He no longer pleads to be understood. He walks his path, steady, certain, composed. And in that composure, he commands the room, not through volume, but through vibration. You feel it before he even speaks. That's what stillness does. It speaks louder than sound. So as you move forward, remember this: every reaction is a choice. Every word is a mirror. Every moment is a test of mastery. Protect your peace like it's your empire. Guard your energy like it's gold, and rule your inner world like a Stoic emperor seated on the throne of his own soul. Because real strength is not shown through aggression, but through composure. Not in dominance, but in direction. Not by controlling others, but by commanding yourself. That's the discipline. That's the mission. That's the Stoic way. If this message resonated with you, brother, take a second to like, subscribe, and share this video with another man walking the same path. And when you're done, watch The Shocking Cost of Goodness. Stoicism Hidden Truth. It's the perfect next step. One mindset, one mission, one brotherhood.